Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. Today I would like to show you how to easily model this simple looking chain link ring. Are you ready? Let's get started. Let's start at the front view, making any of the ring size that fit in your design. And I'm just gonna use 16 in the diameter for all my demonstration. And we are going to use the command length to know how long is this, if it is straight and flat. And we are going to coming over here and we are going to draw a line exactly the same number, 50.265. So 50.265. All right, and then let's hit enter there. So now we have this for us to do the design. Let's come over here and I'm going to draw a line right in the midpoint for a reference there, and wanted to know how wide I wanted this ring to be. It's going to be really bulky and I would like to have it super wide and maybe close to 8 millimeter. That's pretty wide there. All right, so now I want to draw the first link. I personally prefer to use the conic corner, and we're gonna starting with the center, snapping right here. And if our smart track is on, it will snapping to how wide we decided to have there, and I'm going to have it something look like this. It's more like a pillow kind of shape instead of a square with the corner. All right, so then we need to decide it, where's our link. I'm going to use the conic corner again from the square, and this time I want to snapping right here. Take a look at the front view. We want to say roughly about 3 millimeters, pretty wide, but we can adjust it later and for something look like this. Okay, so I need this one going right in the middle, something like this. And if you don't like to moving them around like this, you can always using the align tool to align horizontal and just type it 0, and that will be super accurate. All right, so now we have something like this. We can moving or move out, deciding how big the ring is, but we can also make it into the surface first by sweep one rail. Before you click enter, make sure you record a history, and this is what we get there. Let's click OK. All right, the reason we want to record history is we want to make sure that it will appear to be correct looking. What I mean is, if you have a link over here and a link over there on that side, they need to be able to look like they are actually the link. If you make them too big, for example, let's say you have the link going like this, there's no way that you can fit in another link here, another link there, right? So we just need to make sure that it is fitting into the design. You can actually moving the link inside a little bit since we record a history, so everything will follow. As long as you can physically look like you're going to fit another 2 link into that hole. All right, so now we have this. We are going to twist it first. So let's go ahead to use the twisting command. We're going to snapping somewhere here and somewhere here. I'm gonna coming over to my right view, and I'm going to twist a little bit like this. You don't need to have a huge twist. All right, it's just about the look. It's not really that they have to be function. And I'm going to move it back a little bit so I have the link look like this. Now I'm going to move this link one copy here, and for the other side we can rotate it from this point and make sure copy equal yes on our rotation, and we can rotate it to the other side, and we don't actually need to do the other side just for the look. All right, and you want to see if this link look all right. All right, so now it's the rest of the shank. I would like to have this ring to be trimmed somewhere there and kind of flow nicely to the end. So I need to decide how big is the end is going to be. Let's go ahead to use a conic corner one more time. This time we want to aim into the center, and we're gonna coming over here to do our design right there. And if it is too fat, you can scale it down and or make it a little bit wider, going like this way. All right, whichever you decided to do. Now we wanted to cut it somewhere there, so that's coming over here, and I wanted to do is draw a line, roughly go like this way, and mirror to the other side. You can have a straight cut if you want to, that's fine. I always like to make sure that it will flow nicely with the certain angle there. So I'm going to mirror with that line coming to the other side, which simply just gonna use that to trim off the surface over here and surface over there. Okay, so now we have something like that. So let me hiding those two, and I'm going to duplicate the edges from here to here. So then I have two curves over there. I'm going to show you all kind of a possibility here. First, we are going to use a sweep one rail, and then you can simply sweep this one to the bottom of a ring shank and make sure they align really well. And then you will get something like that. That's not too bad. However, you see there's a kink over there. If you take a look on the render view, then it will have a kink there. It doesn't look good, right? So, but I want to make sure that they are really smooth there. So then back to the ghost view. The second way that we can have is I'm gonna coming into the surface, and I want to extrude this curve going straight, something like that. Now since it's a surface and this is a surface, we could using the blend surface. We're gonna blend from here to here and make sure they are aligned. Super important. If they don't align, you're going to see them twist. So make sure they are aligned. And you can see it is smoother surface. It may bump up a little bit, and you can change either from the curvature or tendency, whichever that you think it look nicer. All right. So then, or if you feel like this curve is too much, you want to go down or something like that, you can adjust that as well. And then, so I'm going to click OK here. So you see it's much smoother. Okay. Another way, the third way you can do it, I'm going to hide in this one first, is you can try to find the sweep to rail, and let's go ahead to extract the ISO curve, and we want to extract from the surface snapping somewhere right in the middle, somewhere about here, and also on the other side somewhere about here. Okay, so now that I have two. On this one, I want to extract the ISO curve as well. Quadrant, toggle it, and I want one here and the other one there. Okay, so now we have this. We need to create a curve that we like. Let's go ahead to use the blend command. We want to blend the curve from this curve to this curve. And we also want to blend from this curve to this curve. Okay, so see how smooth they are. And we are going to use the sweep to command, and we're gonna pick up rail 1, rail 2. You go from here and you go into here. Oops. And you go into here. Make sure you align really well, and let's click OK, and you will have something like this. Let's do a comparison for what we have. So we have this one here. I'm going to bring it up like this. This is caused by blend. This is caused by sweep to. They're almost identical, but it's not exactly the same. But I just want to show you 3 different ways that you can create in this surface. So I'm going to use this one, and then we are going to use blend again. Let's go ahead to blend from this edges to this edges. Again, make sure they align really well. All right. Ideally, you can just join those and kind of bowling together, but what's the problem is you have an intersect area over here. But sometimes when you have them 100% meeting over there, that you have a bowling issue. Let me show you why. We are going to cap this one, And we're also going to cap this one. As you can see, it's a closed solid polished surface on both of them because they share exactly the same surface. So if we try to Boolean union this one, it gives us the problem over there. I bet you have this kind of experience, and this is really headed. So what I like to do, let's go back one more time. There are a couple ways you can address the issue. Sometimes what you can do is move them just a little bit, like 0.001, but I will moving into on the left position. So I'm gonna move like minus 0.01 there. And sometimes if you try it doesn't work, you might need to move it again. So you're moving kind of shift a little bit, and 0.01 is not really visible, so that's one thing. The second solution that I'm going to Control Z back to make them 100% meet. The second thing that you can do is you can trim off this edges there and to make them shorter so they are not overlapping. However, you need to watch out if it is still overlapping on the front view. I find the most easy way to do is this. Let me hide in this one, is easier for you to see. I'm going to use my gumball, use Control Shift and click on this one, right? So once we click it on, we're just gonna move it out just a little bit. As you can see, the original line is this one, and it's kind of moving out to the right side. Okay, I'm going to turn it back to whatever we have. You see, it's no longer overlapping, and let's give it a try. And it is working fine. And after that, you can also trim it back if you want to. So I'm gonna coming back to draw a line right in the middle with my endpoint, and then using that to trim off the line over there. Okay, so now we have this is ready. So let's go ahead to delete this one. And using that to rotate it, make sure the copy equal yes. We want to rotate it 180 degrees. If you use the mirror, that won't be right. Before we flow it back, we want to take a look on how it's going to end up with. This line right in the middle showing whatever below this line will be inside of the ring shank. If you feel like it's cutting too much, you might want to moving this line down or something like this, so that way you will have majority on the top. Or what you can do is you can scale this down if it is too tall for you. So I'm moving that line down, and we are going to use the flow. If you don't type it surface, it will flow curve. Okay, so we pick up the object, we hit enter, and we pick up our curve. All right, so you need to be rotated a little bit. Let's go ahead to use the gumball, rotate it 90 degrees there. So remember those two have, we need to join back together. So let's hit join, and then we'll have something like this. Now we can Boolean union this together. Okay, so this is no longer the correct ring size. So I'm going to making a cylinder, snapping into the 0. Radius for 8, and I'm going to have it coming out that much. Bring back here, and we will need to do the Boolean difference. After Boolean difference, we'll have our ring. I hope you enjoyed this video. A lot of people ask me, PJ, what is the fast way to learn jewelry CAD design? I will always tell people having a mentor is going to help you to learn fast. On my website, there's a jewelry CAD masterclass. Not only you learn in a very systematic way, myself will also answer your burning questions every week in our private group coaching program. Join me in this class will help you to learn fast. Check out the link at the description below. Hope to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next.